Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about 5 things that I hope I can tell you in time because I didn't learn about them soon enough myself. And while learning, I faced a lot of difficulties because of these 5 points. So today we'll talk about 5 such points that can make your learning experience even better and faster. Watch the entire lesson carefully and let us know in the comments which particular point is most important for you. So let's get started with the first point. The first and most important point is the condition of your guitar. Many times when I've interacted with my students live or even met them offline, the biggest issue that causes so many problems and no one really realizes that this is the issue is the poor condition of their guitar. Very often our guitar just sits unused for months or even years. Then we get motivated to play and start playing again. But then we realize that we didn't do any maintenance on the guitar before starting to play again. The strings are rusted. The action is quite high, so because of all these reasons, you'll have twice as much trouble playing. The effort you need to put in has now doubled. So make sure that whenever you start playing or practicing guitar, and if your guitar has been unused for a long time, first take it to a store to get it serviced, have the strings changed, and get the action set. Even when I started learning guitar, we tend to hesitate to spend money at first, thinking who will buy a new guitar? People often advise the same thing, or wonder why spend money unnecessarily. So I made the same mistake in the beginning, and my first guitar was from a company called Gibson, which makes those slim models. They are quite beautiful guitars to look at, but its action was also very extraordinary, and I don't know how I managed to survive with it. But I don't want you to suffer from the same thing. So please make sure that whenever you start practicing guitar, you keep your guitar in optimal condition. Your guitar's action should be comfortable. Only then will you be able to play well. Now, the second point is related to posture. The posture scenario is especially for the left hand. Whenever we play leads or chords, my experience of the past 15 years tells me that whenever you are playing anything on the lower strings, especially the first, second, third, or even the fourth, your thumb should be visible here. It should be on top. Look, the size and length of the thumb can vary from person to person. I'm not asking you to make your thumb jump down like this. You don't have to do that. Rather, you need to make sure that for a good grip, your thumb is visible on top and you have a firm hold. Your thumb shouldn't be bent or positioned parallel to the neck like this. Instead, you should keep your thumb straight and make your movements accordingly. For example, even when you're playing chords like D major or C major, you can see that my thumb is positioned above. So you need to maintain that posture with your thumb kept above so that you can play the chord while your thumb remains on top. And as you know, there are benefits to keeping your thumb above. For example, in D major, you can mute the top 2 strings. In C major as well, you can mute the 6th string. So try hard to make sure your thumb is slightly visible above. If your hands are small, please, don't get discouraged. Try to make sure that at least your thumb is visible up to this level and stays vertical. Whether you're playing forward or backward, it should remain upright. The thumb should be like this. It shouldn't be like this. So I hope you understood this point and you'll definitely work on this aspect. Yes, the next tip is about the right hand. See, the right hand is a very important factor because it's the initiator of the sound. If the right hand doesn't initiate the playing, then the left hand alone can't do anything. You all know this about the guitar as well, it's just common sense. But one major issue I've noticed with students while playing chords is that they tend to play extremely loud. They have this habit because we have to apply force with the left hand. We constantly have to use force to press the chords, right? So what happens is that the same scenario, that same tendency inside us gets applied here as well. And we end up playing here too with a lot of force, thinking we're playing better. So what happens when you play like this is that your vocals get suppressed. And then when you sing and play together, everyone says that your voice isn't coming through at all. Only the sound of the guitar is audible. That's why the first thing you need to keep in mind is that you have to practice separately. You have to learn how to manage your right hand, how exactly to manage it. First, make sure that whenever you are strumming, you use a warm-up for strumming. Mute the strings and focus on what you're doing. Practice down and up strokes on all 6 strings with a very light touch. Another important point you need to keep in mind is that you should use your wrist more than your elbow joint. Instead of moving your whole arm like this, it's better if you move it like this. No doubt about it. I'm not saying you have to lock your arm and play strictly like this. Rather, it should be a mixture of both. But primarily, it will be your wrist joint that's doing the work. So keep that in mind and try to play a bit more lightly. You don't need to play loudly unless you're playing in a group. If there are 5, 7 or 10 people sitting with you and you're singing a song together, that's great. But just now as I was talking to you and playing the guitar, I hope you were able to hear me comfortably. But if I play the guitar like this and then try to make sure you can still hear me, that won't be possible. It's not just disturbing for you, it's the same thing that happens in real life as well. You have to make sure that you pay attention to your dynamics with your right hand, that you don't always play hard or always play soft. You need to use your own judgment to decide where you need to play hard and where you need to play soft. Now let's talk about our next point, which is a bit related to theory. It's related to theory in the sense that suppose you've just started learning songs, you've learned the tunes, right? You're able to play everything, which is great. But now as musicians, we know deep down and we also need to understand the logic, so there's no need to just memorize or cram things. The most important thing is the major scale. If you've understood the basics of the major scale, if you figured out how to play the major scale on the guitar in different ways, what its different positions are, then I'm telling you, you won't even realize how much of the theory actually runs parallel to the major scale. Basically, it's like this. If we need to memorize if we need to memorize tables, then multiplication is the main thing. That's also correct. So it's the same thing if you want to learn the other scales, like the minor scale, different modes, Phrygian, Lydian, and all the other scales. If you want to memorize them, then the major scale is the key. If you have understood the major scale really well, even in my live classes, when students ask me, sir, can you teach us some theory? I always end up giving them the major scale. So they feel like, sir, you always give us the same thing for everything. But this is very important because if you learn how to play the major scale correctly and learn its different positions, maybe we'll even make a dedicated video about the 5 major scale positions that you should know across the entire fretboard. I'll teach you those. But today, I just want to tell you that you need to focus more on the major scale. If your theory of the major scale is clear, and you can play the major scale from any note anywhere on the guitar, then yes, you are moving in the right direction with theory. So make sure that the major scale should be in your mind. The fifth and final point is related to our singing. I know that a large group of learners struggle because they can play, but as soon as it's time to sing, everything falls apart. So the way to fix this mess is to first accept that your singing is going to require even more effort. Compared to guitar, singing itself is a much more effort-intensive skill. I'm not trying to scare you, just motivate you to prepare yourself to gradually try to sing better. You have to practice. Now, when it comes to how to practice, an important thing is the pickup note. For the past few months, we've also been trying that whenever we teach you a song, we tell you its pickup note. The pickup note is that particular frequency from which you have to start singing the song. Just like we tune a guitar, we also tune our voice. All right, so whether you're singing any song in D, G, C, or any other scale, or with any chord, there has to be a pickup note. If you're learning from any lesson, make sure to comment and ask what the pickup note is. The teacher who is teaching you will tell you in the comments which one it should be. I always try my best to tell you in the video itself. Apart from this, if you are learning live from someone, whether online or offline, before learning any song, ask them to show you the hidden pickup note in the chord, sir, so you know exactly where to match your voice and start singing. It's important for you to have a reference. Only then will you be able to sing in tune. Many people are unable to sing in tune simply because their reference point is not correct. It's not that you sing badly. It could be that your scale is correct, but because you don't know how to start, you begin incorrectly. And as a result, the sound will never be right as you go forward. So make sure that you focus on the pickup note. Any song, for example, like recently we covered a song which I didn't think I could sing. So this humming that I did, by doing this, I tuned myself to this chord. Yes, you come and talk to me even if you don't take the message through your eyes. Alright. Now, I'm not Sonu Nigam or Pepon, but at least, I don't sound so bad that your ears start bleeding. So if you want to avoid sounding like that, you need to focus on the pickup note. Gradually, after covering quite a few songs, you'll be able to figure out the pickup note on your own as well. Okay, so focus on the pickup note. So I hope you understood today's lesson. If that's the case, please let us know in the comments. We are doing our best to bring you 2 videos every weekend. And if this type of video is helpful for you, please do let us know in the comments. Your comments give us a lot of clarity. No matter how many views we get, if there are a lot of comments, it makes us happy. Please take care, keep up the practice, and keep up the patience. Thank you very much for watching the video.